Welcome gamers to this intermediate or advanced tutorial of Dwarf Fortress. My name is DasTactic and welcome to the channel and also welcome to this series. I hope you've been enjoying it so far. I've been thoroughly enjoying the absolute carnage that this has actually brought. I mean the fogs that bring the murk and basically as soon as the fog touches anything living or dead, it changes them into a husk that then goes on a killing rampage, which makes them a lot stronger than standard bodies. I mean, even the undead that really just didn't have any sort of weaponry were doing incredible things. But the interesting thing about that fog is that they don't drop their weaponry. They actually continue fighting with whatever they've got, which makes them extremely dangerous to have the military outside in that sort of fog. Okay, let's just sort of continue on with what we've got. Now, one thing, I think we'll focus a little bit here on... well, I'll still allow everyone to go outside. I'll just try to keep a weather eye on the weather to see if more of it rolls through, just so we can sort of bring people inside again. If that does actually happen, we've got good numbers in one sense here. It's still only the first year, and we've got 14 population already, which is great. That really does help. Certain things, we've got the little office here for the manager, which means that all of these are going to be, we're going to get fairly accurate numbers for the food, drink, seeds, meat, fish, plant and other, but also for our stock, so we can go and check things as required if we have to, because of the manager position that we actually have in the fortress. Other things that we want to be having a bit of a look at is we want to go through now and probably sort of start to set up a lot of our basic industries. So we just get we've got a lot of them done already. If we use the actual workshop list as a bit of a checklist, we'll just go through and see what we need, and we'll start to sort of work that one out. So we go into the build menu, and we just go into workshops, and this is actually a really good way to just figure out what's important and what's not important. Now, for us at this point in time, the stoneworker is critical. So this is an absolute critical one, so we can build the blocks, the doors, the basic furniture, the hatch covers, even things like we'll end up fairly soon building, because we'll need to access to water fairly soon as well. So we'll have to have a look and see the best way of actually handling that as well to bring water safely into the fortress. Now, we've got a fair few different options with that because we've got this aquifer as well. So we do actually have already got like the basics of water. So maybe we won't worry about doing that one. But sometimes, like everything sort of makes sense. The soap maker's workshop, we should really start to try to make use of this, I think. There's a lot. We've set up part of what we need to do to have this one, but this is actually fairly critical. This can actually have a big bearing with the infections that could run through the fortress if you don't actually have soap. You don't need much of it, but we'll do that one as a contained element to sort of go through what's required with that one. Siege, we don't really need that one unless we're going to be building siege engines, which or siege equipment or anti-siege equipment even really. But I'm not going to worry about that one so much. The screw press. This is it says useful workshop for pressing liquids from various sources. Some plants might need to be milled first. So the milling and the screw press, again, not a critical resource, not critical with what we have. The metalsmith, once we will need to do this as an intermediate style style area. Now we've got different ways of doing this one. We've got forges and magma forges, for example. Like we've got, for example, the magma forge over through here, and we have the option to make use of these in this run. So I'm going to do that. I'm actually going to make, I am going to do something with magma. So rather than just build a standard forge, I'm going to build a magma forge eventually. Skipping over a few of these. The mechanic is a critical one, as you've seen with the cage traps. The cage traps that we've placed outside, and I will place some inside now as well, they're a critical component in terms of securing your fortress, but also allowing you to interact with the outside world. It is crucial that you actually sort of look at, particularly at the cage traps, and get those underway, which we've already done. So we've done that previously. Mechanic will also be extremely useful and important for levers, which we'll be using fairly soon, and also for drawbridges, for building the actual drawbridges, which are the most secure way for us to actually lock down the fortress. Allows us to lock it down from deep inside the fortress, which we'll start to build as well fairly soon. The jeweler can be important if we end up with nobility, and so it's of medium importance, not important for us at this early stage. Crafts dwarf we've actually already built. This is critically important because it builds your mugs and the things that the dwarves will actually enjoy using. It also builds little knickknacks. It builds nest boxes as well, which we really will need to get set up fairly soon. So we've got a few different things that we need to do with that. We might even set that up soonish in this particular episode as well, just the nest boxes, so we can start to get a poultry farm up and running. The carpenter, back and through here, we've actually got that as well, sort of allocated down in the bottom underneath where the jeweler actually is over through here. But the carpenter is actually a critical one for doing bins, barrels and beds, are really the important stuff in through there. The bowyer is really if we're going to sort of start to make crossbows or sorry, more just well, crossbows essentially is what we'll sort of need, but it's not really an important one for us at this stage. We're not really focusing on archery. The ashery is a very, very critical one when it comes to. It actually works in with the soap makers workshop. I almost wish there was a soap makers area that the ashery was part of, but it also does more than that. So it's a bit out away from soap making, but it also makes, for example, it gets things ready to be able to start to use charcoal and stuff like this. So sure, there's a wood burner for that. Now the ashery really is part of the soap maker. It's sort of funny that it's actually away from it. Yeah, I would actually have lumped those together somehow, I think. The furnaces, when we click on this one, you'll see there's a whole heap of different furnaces from kilns, like the glass furnace. This is for pottery, for sand. And then we've got the magma glass furnace, magma kiln, magma smelter, just the smelter alone. These make metal bars. This is very important in terms of the metalsmith and these other sorts of, the forges and stuff like this, sort of kick in at that point. So these are again part of that industry, which we'll get to, maybe not in this episode, but hopefully we'll get there soonish. The farming we've already had a bit of a look at. Farm plots we've actually got in the bottom of the fortress, which we've established, which is really important. The still is critical. The other one that's critical is the kitchen. The farmer is actually a great one for shearing animals and also for making cheese and also for spinning thread. So this is actually a crucial one as well. So those three there are absolutely crucial along with the farm plot. The nest box is really just placing a nest box ready for you, which we'll actually do in this episode. So that ultimately is important as well. The vermin catcher, capture and train small animals here requires cage traps. Don't really need that so much, so that's not really important. The quern is for milling flour and so on and so forth, so that's again not important at this point in time. The hive is not important unless we've got bees and we really want to make mead. So again, it's probably more of a, if you want to make a little extra challenge for yourself, you could actually try to have like a bee economy going as well. It's up to you. I've left the fishery and the tanner and the butcher until later on. Normally these would be just sort of fairly standard that you'd actually build fairly early on in your fortress. For us, we have built the butcher and the tanner. We haven't built the fishery. The butcher and tanner we'll talk about in a separate way. Actually, I might even sort of look at that one pretty soon, actually, because we do need to make ready for butchering animals, particularly if we're going to make a soap factory as well. So I think we'll look at soap. We'll look at the how we secure the butcher in a reanimating biome. That's really the tricky thing, is things will come back to life at the butcher's shop, so we'd have to be a bit careful of that. We've got the and so that's pretty much the farming stuff. There's a lot of important things in the farming area. If we go back to clothing and leather as well, in this case we actually have so sorry, we'll just go back to farming again. The tanner gets the raw skins from the butcher, which can come back to life, by the way. So the tanner then tans the hide and then starts to make either parchment, you can sort of see through there, but also it actually makes leather. And that's the most important thing for us from this shop, is to get the leather that we require. Now also, as we kill animals outside, even the undead animals, they will be automatically brought pretty much into the butcher's shop and then essentially slaughtered, not slaughtered, but they'll be sort of cut apart, and the useful components from the zombie creatures will then be used if it can use it. So we'll have to just sort of make sure that that's all sort of working as well. I might even talk a little bit about the work orders that you actually have around the fortress and how that can interact. There's a few things we have to do. We're almost getting to the point where our population is sort of running out of jobs, which is actually great. You sort of want to have a healthy fortress will have a fair number of people with no jobs to do. But in this case, we've just had so much we've had to do, and we're going to continue for that for a little bit longer. But anyway, that's sort of where we are. Now, clothing and leather then takes the finished leather and then makes it into things where we can sort of create, for example, you can see through there. So it can make clothing, tools, bags, and water skins. So we need this mainly for our military. So I want to reserve it for that primarily. So that's the leather shop. The loom, this actually allows us to go and collect spider silk. Now, we've got to be careful when we open up the underground properly. They will run, people, like if we have a loom, they will automatically go out and start to collect thread or spider webs and then bring that back in to make thread, which is very, very important that we do that. So we will have to set that up, but it is another source of danger for us. So we have to be careful of that one. The clothes is also where we can just have the dwarves can then start to construct their clothing. This is actually also going to be very important for us to get that established pretty soon. Actually, we do need that one, and I've got a like again with the good old DF hack, we then end up having a situation where that can be just brought in and we can just have it just manage itself automatically, which is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to give it any orders. Now the dyer is actually another thing which actually is a non-important resource, a bit like the dimple cups that we didn't plant because we can't be bothered, because the dimple cups are what's used to create dyes where they can create coloured cloth. It makes them happier, but it's not crucial. It's not important for us yet. So I'm not going to worry about that one until we're sort of really well established. And if we do, then need it. So that's pretty much what we have, what we've already got and what we do need. So we are going to be needing, let's set up first of all the turkey farm. Let's go and just do that one now at this point in time. So if we just bring it down, now we've got, this is actually where we've got the kitchen, the still, the farmer's workshop, the butcher's shop, and the tanner's shop. There's a very high chance that undead will come to life in here. So I'm going to just prepare for that eventuality and actually put some traps in around the actual doors here. I don't think I need to worry about it from the tanner's shop as such, unless it happens to, when they're working on it, it happens to come to life at that point in time. But typically it's not going to really be an issue. So let's just quickly go across into our traps, cage traps, go to planning mode because I don't know how many I've got, and just going to go and place some across there, some across here. That's just going to allow me to trap that area, and so as things come to life, they should roll into those cages, we capture them, we get rid of them, is sort of how that will then sort of work. So that will then just present that particular zone for us. Now, the 3 hostiles outside really aren't a concern, so we don't need to worry about that one. I'm thinking we actually make the turkey farm off to the top, because we will actually be slaughtering them a little bit, and they don't need to be down in there. Like, they don't have to, like, they don't even, there's no requirement for them to be on anything other than rock. So we might as well just build this into here. So let's just go and build, oops, hang on, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to go to the digging menu and just dig out a zone here for the turkeys to be in. We'll just go and grab that zone through there. And now let's go across and build the looms and things like that as well. So we'll just go and get those ready. We'll just dig another corridor back over this other side. And similar to what we've done over here, I'm just going to emulate the process that we did here, where we've got like 4 wide there. I've got 5 in that case, so I'll just go 5. I'm just copying essentially what we had in through the other side. Another 4 there, that'll do. And that just then leaves us to come into the middle. I will actually do it a little bit differently than what I've done here. So that'll be the middle, gap, middle, okay, gap, middle. And that will just, we'll just do this as the start for what we're going to be doing, because I'll just unpause the fortress and just let them sort of do their thing here. So they'll just all go off and just do what they're doing until I'm going to wait till all this is built before we start to do anything at all. Let's go back up the top to F2, and we've still got these dead, which should be brought across into this dump zone. Now it is showing that there's actually somebody's going to be taking this one. And if we have a quick look at the, I want this to happen before they start to smell. So if we go and have a look at the actual the citizens, We can see that there's a woodworker there with no job. She's also, this is Cole, who has been in the wars, of course, quite unhappy. I've got a fair few that are quite unhappy in the fortress. But yeah, we'll have to just sort of watch what happens there. So there's still, everyone's sort of working pretty much. Yeah, they're all doing something. So we've got storing items in barrels. We've got, there's a fair few, we can have a look at the list of jobs as well. This is the task menu. There's a lot for us to do. Like it's all, you know, there's a lot of stuff that storing items in locations, things like this. Oh, hang on, there's the dump items. There's 3 items to be dumped, and so we'll actually end up. Eventually, we'll get to those. So there's just too many jobs at this point in time. Where there's sort of like it's one of the least important jobs at this, even though it's going to actually cause issues for us. I don't think I can actually make that into a. Yeah, no, I won't worry about it. One thing we should also talk about is burial chambers and how we can sort of then manage those. Now, they will be important. I might just pause again, actually, and just talk a little bit about that. We're still trying to pull this down as well, by the way, so nobody's actually taken this job. If you go back up the top, have a bit of a look around. They may be bringing more wood inside, which I'm actually happy for that to happen. So, yeah, I'm quite happy for them to do exactly that. Carpenter, yep, rock mugs completed. Need empty cage traps. They'll just keep on building the cage traps over time. And so eventually that will then sort itself out. Let's just keep on running down through the fortress. And we've got to go all through that aquifer. And then we get to this location where we do actually have storage. We do need to get more bins as well, but that's okay. We've got the wood to do that. I might just double check the carpenter's workshop. Got cage and buckets. Yeah, we do have a bin there. We've got extra bins just sitting back in there as well, which is good. Extra buckets as well. So they're making things that are as required. In through here, they're making. We've got some nest boxes, so we've actually they're available. Let's just go down to this location. So the miners haven't got to here yet. We have other jobs. Okay, I'm going to go back to our work orders and tell the miners to go back to actual, you know, to the job. So we've got a high master in through here. I'm just going to lock that one in so that Doomat, the miner, just does mining again. So we'll start to sort of get things. We've got a lot of other things to control here at this point in time. That one is now done. Now I'm going to not worry about locking these. I don't mind them grabbing things from here and then sort of making use of them. Now we have to do something with the cages as well. We've got a catch-all for cages at this point in time, but it's not really something that we need to sort of concern ourselves with too much just yet. So this is going to be our cloth making. So I'll let them bring everything through. So he's digging extremely quickly, which is fantastic. Need the empty cage traps. And once we get this all established, we'll then look at butchering some animals. We'll talk about that as well. Yep, so he's smashing his way through here. Just wait until he sort of gets this bit done, and then we'll finish off the first of these areas. All right, let's pause there and start to build our cloth industry. So we've got the tanner is making the raw materials back through here. Let's just go across now and build ourselves a workshop. So we're just going to go across. We're going to go to clothing and leather, and we're just going to be making, as I say, the first 3 from in here. So we definitely want to have the leather workshop. So we'll go and grab that one, and we'll just go and place that in here. We'll go to workshops, clothing and leather, get the loom and place that in here. And clothing and workshop, or workshops, clothing and leather, and just the clothes shop. I'm not going to worry about the dyeing shop. The rack at the back there makes it look like it goes up against the wall, but it actually sits up against the wall like that. So I'm just going to place that one there. That's just a 3x3. Okay, let's unpause, let these guys build what they're going to be building. And again, just checking that the 3 hostiles haven't changed. They're not that dangerous for us. I shouldn't say that. All right, now we've got this little area through here. What we're going to do here is, now this is going to be our turkey farm. Again, if you're using DF Hack, you don't have to think about much. So I'm not going to even really talk about how to manage these, because DF Hack does that for you with its butchering, with its protecting eggs. If they can be hatched, keeping the numbers of turkeys at a certain level, and then butchering the others. This is all really important stuff. So, but DF Hack just does all that for you. So that's why DF Hack is just another reason DF Hack is just such a critical resource. I'm just going to place one in through there. I'm going to now just put nest boxes down the walls, and we'll use a lot of these, so we ultimately end up with a lot of eggs. So at the moment they're not laying eggs. They're basically just down in the bottom of the fortress, out of the way. But we'll just go across into the we've got things like the cages and restraints in through here. For example, if we go to furniture, you'll find the nest boxes. Actually, they're not in furniture. What are they in? Nest boxes are, got workshops, farming. There's the nest boxes there. So when placed, a female bird will claim the box and start laying eggs if one is available. So we go to the nest box. Now we've got the planner in through here. I'm pretty sure it's going to continue with these. We've got 5 available at the moment. Let's just go and build a row of these, probably down both sides. So we'll just get them established so that we end up with getting like a lot of them, which will give us a lot of eggs. This is heaps. Now we've only got 5 or 3 to 5 turkeys, I think. I can't remember exactly what we have. What we need to do in here now is make this into the zone for the turkeys. This is our turkey farm. And so we're just going to go across into zones. We're going to go to pen and pasture. And we're just going to go and paint that little zone in there. Accept. And so we're going to assign. Now you can also use, you've got, for example, the things where you can have the auto butcher going. You can assign the different animals this way. If I go and click on that one, there's also a way for us to do this with DF Hack, where we can actually say, look, I'll show you that, because it's very easy for me to just go and grab these as an example. But it's quite useful to be able to grab what you need and actually then go and use that. So we've got, for example, the cavy sow down through here. I'm not sure. I think that may still be outside. Or it may have been brought inside. Anyway, we can let this one go as well. Not that we can. These are just hamsters. They're not really of much use for anything. So we made even though it's female, I don't think that we can get anything from it. But I'll show you what I mean about DF Hack. If I just go back into click on the zones again, click on this particular zone to make it the active zone, and then if I go to DF Hack assign, it will then bring up all sorts of different ways of doing this. Now the easiest way to use this is to literally just go into the egg layers and go only egg layers. And so it's going to have turkey hens and the turkey gobbler. Even though the turkey gobbler doesn't lay eggs, it impregnates the hens, and so we can then start the actual industry. So if I do it in through that one through there, if I exclude grazers and juveniles, I just basically end up with just a turkey farm. And if I just go and assign all, bang, done. And so they're all assigned here. That's a really fast way of doing things. But you'll notice that the grazers need to be down with the, like if I go and actually click on only there and exclude those, we end up with the horses. They're 2 male horses. We got the yak cow and the cavy sow. Now the cavy sow is actually a grazer, so we want that downstairs. I'm just going to go back down. F5 takes me to the bottom of the fortress. Zones. Go to this zone in through here, and if I again just go into here and this is a nice easy way of doing it. If we go only grazers will be allowed in through here. So we've got the horse. We do actually have a pet lamb here as well. I'm going to, and they're already assigned there. This one's in loose cage, distance 37, so it's a little way away. Let's just go and assign these creatures. So they've now, oops, hang on, assign all. And so they're all now assigned in here. That's like a toggle between all and none. And so that in that case, they've now all been assigned there. So the cavy sow will be brought down and won't starve. So that will be sort of what we have. Most of the others, in fact, this one here is going off. We'll probably find that this one is actually going off to milk the yak cow, which is fine. So we'll end up getting milk from this particular cow if we've got buckets, and so on and so forth. So industry will just start to look after itself. Now, one other thing we can see through here, we actually do have. We have certain things we can build, like we got dead dimple cups. We do actually have young tunnel tube. These we can't ditch these, other than through covering them with a surface. And so when we do actually find a cavern floor like this or down through here, it's a good idea to start to make use of this if you need to clear out a lot of the trees that you see. Now, to get things like cave wheat, these are also been designated for, like the quarry bushes have been designated to go and grab. We can just go and get, for example, the cave wheat this way. Eventually someone will come down and pick that up. But we can't do that with young tower caps because it's a tree, black caps, tunnel tubes. These are stuff we can't do. I could do the dead dimple cups, I think. No, we can't even do that. So to make this more useful for farming again, what I can do is, as long as I've got some silty cavern floor, I can go back to my build menu. This is a bit of a hack. I wish there was a different way to do this. I don't think there is a way to do it. And just go to dirt road, which essentially, these don't require minerals, but the dirt road may quickly be overgrown by plants, which is fine. But this is another way that we can then go and start to create our farming plot. If we don't get rid of these, there'll be a hole in the plot. So and I don't think we can actually go and build on with these. Yeah, we can't build them. We can't add on to them other than through designation. So if I, for example, just to show this, actually, I'll go to the workshops, go to farming, go to farm plot. If I start to build another farm plot, for example, down through here, it has allowed that. Interesting. I didn't think it would. Look, in that case, forget what I just said. I was going to do it a different way. But the fact it's showing that is actually, it will get rid of that. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. I'm just going to grab another one in through here. I'll just go and make all of those farm plots active. And I didn't realize it did that, to be honest. I'll see what happens over time. If we end up with a gap, I'll then just redo it. You can redo it by building dirt roads. Actually, no, that has actually allocated what has to be done there, which is awesome. Another way you can do things is to build a wall and then take the wall down, and that will leave the exposed soil underneath it if you need to sort of do it in a certain area where you need to sort of get rid of trees. You can sort of you can build and then destroy, and then you can even build and then destroy and then build dirt road over a bigger area if you need to. Okay, we've got one starving, dehydrated, or drowsy unit. This is the cavy sow in here. So if this dies in here, it's going to come back to life as the undead, but it's only just happened, so that really won't be a problem. Let's have a quick look at our hostiles. They're all on the edge of the map. That's fine. So we can just leave them where they are. Just go back to F5 again. And so eventually they'll just come back down, and then we'll sort of figure out what to do with those. Now, the turkeys will then be brought up to the top. If we have a quick look at the top of the fortress again, and just go back down into here, we'll start to sort of see they're starting to now put the nest boxes in. And here come the turkeys. They'll start to lay eggs. So that industry is now done. Again, we've just got too much work for everyone to do. Milking the animals was completed. I should have shown that. That's probably just got some milk sitting there, an ashen bucket with yak's milk in it. God, this is an incredible game. Incredible game. So we've got those. We do have to be careful of starving units. So the turkeys are now sitting on their nest boxes, and there we go. We're up to early winter. This is possibly where we may get invasions typically. Yeah, we've got enough population. I think we've got enough population to trigger it. I forget what we set up for the difficulty for this one. I think it was set pretty low in terms of population. It may have been 15 rather than 14. So I think we may just be on the outside edge of triggering issues. But anyway, it's going to happen pretty soon. All right, just let it go through. We'll just get the message about the winter is upon us. Needs empty cage traps. So we've got most of them here. We haven't got these three. Wooden cage is now completed. Needs to load the cage traps in here. Here we go, another one done. These have all now been established. Now, I'll just pause again and talk about this. These have got different work orders for doing different sorts of things. So I can actually sort of go and add new tasks to make leather armor or whatever else we might actually need. So if we have leather, what you can do is go to stocks and just sort of see how things are going. You can then just go straight down to leather in through here and just see how much leather you actually have. It's just not showing it there. I'll just go to maybe, I'll just type in leather. It's leather dresses. I'll go to hides and see if they've got that one. Actually, I should have checked this before I did it. It is somewhere. I just can't remember where it actually is. Yeah, let's just go and backspace this one. I'll just see if I can find it. Yeah, there it is, tanned hides with none. We don't actually have any there. So when I was doing a search for hides, it wasn't coming up for the simple reason that it was there weren't any there. So it will find the name of things that exist, but it won't find the category. And so we actually don't have any. We've got actually, the thread is actually, this is interesting, we've got 16 thread saved around the place. So we've got like giant cave spider silk thread somewhere. This will be somewhere in the fortress. Some of it will be, some of it will still be spider silk webs around the place. Some of it will actually be thread. So we've got sort of like the thread in through here. We then actually will have some, like you've got 111. So these are actually probably, even some of these may be in sutures. Actually, most of that's just webs actually, to be honest. Just having a look and see where it actually is. Then we've got the pigtail thread. No, so we're seeing a lot of it that is now downstairs somewhere. So these are things where the dwarves will want to go and collect this. They won't have access to a lot of this. They will to a degree. Look, if we have a look at the loom, if they can, they will start to pick it up automatically. And this is actually done through automation, just through DF hack, through the way that we've automated clothing, for example. So I think I can show this. If I go to the control panel, and you'll see that we've got like auto butcher has been turned on. Auto chop I've turned off because it's dangerous for them to go outside. Auto clothing through here I've got turned on, and if I just do a question mark through here, so this command allows you to configure uniform that your civilians should wear. Auto clothing will then keep track of your stock of the configured clothing, but it will actually just automatically replace clothing. They'll just go back in and just build their own clothes as required. So it sort of just does, if you're wondering whether to use this or enable tailor instead, see the comparison. We sort of have it both turned on to get the best of both. You see auto farming, auto fishing has been turned off because it's dangerous for us. Auto milking, auto nest boxing, things like this is just makes life so much easier. What else have we got? We've got nest boxes. There's the tailor turned on as well, and so the tailor and the clothing will just make sure that there's enough that the dwarves won't, like if there's thread available, they'll go and make themselves some clothes, or they'll make some cloth from the loom, and then they'll make themselves clothes. So they will just automatically do this process. So this is the loom itself. As you can see there's already now weaving thread into cloth and weaving yarn into cloth. They're trying to make cloth already, just automatically, without me giving any orders. That's just something that they're trying to go and do. And then the clothes, you can see somebody's now wanting to actually make some trousers for themselves and a robe, because what they've got is not working all that well. So so that's actually somewhere that is happening. Yep, so back in there. So they'll just automatically do this. We don't have to worry about it. I could set up, I've left areas so I can actually put in some more stockpiles if I need to, which I don't really need to just yet. So that's our basic industry. Now we do actually, sorry, that's the leather, isn't it? That's the leather works. We're going to need to now make use of the leather. Now we still haven't got this done. Let's just unpause and just let them build those last cage traps and get those established. But essentially we've got our food industry is working well. The drink industry is fine. The clothing is now established. They're building what they have to in through here, so they're weaving, just automatically weaving things. They're going to be making clothes when they can. So, you know, I probably will come through and actually make like a cloth bin area back in through here just so they got access to it. There's other areas we do need cloth, but I think this is probably going to be the main thing we need is in through here. So let's just go and build a stockpile in here at the moment. I'll just show you where this actually is. So if I just go and establish that stockpile there, accept. And so this one here, we've got like leather, which I will be wanting to bring across into the tanning of the hides as well. But in this case, we're going to go to cloth. And if I just go to custom, there's not a real lot that we need to do here. I think we just leave it all on. So as a catch-all, just so they can make use of it. We then go back up our fortress until we get to this area through here, and we just go to custom and we turn off cloth. Just go none. That way, all the cloth will then end up down in that other location. Just double check that I do actually have bins being built automatically. I can see there's a lot of finished goods that aren't being placed in bins. So I'm just going to go to my work orders. Got beds. We don't have bins actually, so bins are not. Oh, yeah, there they are. We make 2 at a time. Yeah, there's more coming. So that's fine. So the carpenter will probably have. It's got wooden cages there. Might just go and double check what we actually have for the work orders for the bins. Amount of logs. So yeah, it's satisfied for the next check. When it's going to check it again, it checks that daily, and so that will then be placed. So we're seeing like sheep wool dress. Let's just go back up through the fortress and see if they've put those other people away yet. No, they haven't yet. So these are still just sitting there, the mangled corpses. I really want all of that dead stuff in here. Now, let's just go back down again to the to these bottom layers and just wait. Okay, now got a second. We've got one more cage trap left to place. These nest boxes are being placed in there. There'll be eventually eggs in through here. Nest box. Yep, nothing else in there. Turkey with the nest box with eggs. So and so the dwarves are coming and picking those up, but eventually what will happen is these will be impregnated by the turkey gobbler, and so we'll end up with poults, like the turkey poults will then be hatched. Here we go. So he's now building the cloth robes, trousers. So people are just building what they need to build, which is great. Actually, one thing we might check is actually with that catch-all that we've got, the problem may be that I don't have bins allocated in here. If I go into barrels and bins, I've got wheelbarrows. Yeah, and I've got 99 in each case, so that's fine. We'll just leave that one where that is. So they're coming down and eating their biscuits. So they are making biscuits to eat, which is ideal. Let's just go back down at the bottom here again. Just wait for this thing to be built. And eventually the poults will hatch. But they'll eat the eggs for a little while, so there's heaps of food. And again, DF Hack is just managing all that for us. So more industries established. Now we're going to have to get a soap making industry, and I'm going to build that. I might build that over here actually, so we sort of end up having the soap maker. So let's just go across and dig. Same deal as what we had over to the other side. We don't need this to be very big, so I'll just make it into a 5x5 zone. I'll just make it so it's the same across there. So we'll get that established. So our miner, actually we should actually start to now also build beds, so bedrooms, actual dedicated bedrooms. That's about the right time now for us to do that. We're nearly a year in and we haven't got we've got a dormitory, but not bedrooms. The dormitory is going to be okay, but the bedrooms will actually make our dwarves quite happy. And you can see there that already the happiness is improving. Oh, this is what I was hoping for actually. I was hoping to show you this. We now actually have, so Domus, the ghostly mace lord, has risen as he's haunting the fortress. So if we go and see where he rose, he actually ended up rising in here somewhere. And if we have a bit of a look to see if he's around, this is a ghost of the mace lord that was outside that got attacked in the last episode. And so if we have a quick look and see what's actually happening in through here, if we go into the groups and we go to dead or missing, I don't know if it'll show up in here. Yeah, Domas, the ghostly mace lord, is around. Actually, that's the Hang on, that's undead. It's undead because it's a ghost. And so you can see through here, this is undead. We've got the raven corpses, which are undead as well. But if we go and click on this one, here he is here. So he's outside where the leftovers of everything actually was. And so this is that's the ghostly Mace Lord. This is actually, I think this has come back as an actual zombie. It doesn't look like a ghost to me. Now, I'm going to need to make sure that everyone's back inside, if that's the case. I've got 3 hostiles. Look like, yeah, I'm not sure. We've got to go to the hostiles. 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's not considered a hostile, so we can just sort of let that happen. Let it wander around. Like in this case, they're not super critical of the. But usually the ghosts come back in a different way. Let's have a look and see. This could be interesting. Description: a relentless haunt, generally troubling past acquaintances and relatives. The spirit has not been properly memorialized or buried. So all we have to do is memorialize this. And so what this is we end up with and I'll show you now the process of handling the ghosts that come in. It's not easy. It's not a hard thing to do. If we just go down to our workshop layer and then go to the stoneworkers workshop, one thing we're going to need to do is add a task. In fact, I don't know if we've got them set up in here to make. We've got Domas actually. We've automatically got an engraved memorial has been sort of done as a one-off. Now, this is automatically done, and so there's going to be this one's going to be used. So we actually have a work order through here for Domas to engrave a memorial, but we're not seeing it there just yet. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to allow that to happen, but that should be engraved here. That should be a task that it then ends up coming through. Let's just wait and see what actually happens for a little while. Has anyone done anything? There it is. It was just done very, very quickly, and now underneath through here, we should end up with a slab. Nope, it's gone again. There's the ghostly Mace Lord, who is sort of like just coming into the fortress. Again, it just freaks people out, and like a little bit. It's not even super critical, unless he's coming in to build his own. See how he's going through the walls, for example, and now it's gone off somewhere and disappeared somewhere else. We don't know where. So it's just going to haunt the fortress. If we have a quick look and see if we can find anything. And we have to think about where we're going to actually build this as well. And I wouldn't mind building it, like, let's go down and build our actual meeting hall somewhere, maybe down even in here somewhere. Would actually be pretty good. We could actually build it in here and maybe build the memorials for everyone back in that location as well. So let's just go and build a little bit of an area. Just go and build like this, I guess, with maybe two entrances back into a main hall. In fact, what we'll do is we'll build the entrances into a largish area which we use for triggering different traps and levers and things. So we'll make like a lever room there, and then we'll actually have entrances into our main hall. So I'll make the main hall this way. And what we'll also then do is we'll end up with burial chambers, but where should we place that? I'm thinking of even just using this room for that, so let's just go and do that. So we'll come back for that one. That's going to be our main meeting hall. We did talk about doing bedrooms as well, but let's just do it bit by bit. Now, if we have a quick look and go to stocks again and just type in slabs. So slab, we don't have anything. So I'll just go and see if it was actually done. Yeah, it's still got the engraved memorial. It just is not being done yet. So actually, what it is it's running. It's probably going to tell us in through here. Yeah, so we don't actually have slabs. We need we need an unengraved slab to do this. So let's go and get that sorted as well. In fact, let's go and get all of our coffins and things that we require for the fortress, get them actually built. So if we go back up to our workshop layer, and again, I can either just build them automatically just by adding new task, and then go to rock coffins, rock slabs. They're the two things that we need. So I'm just going to go and place them in my work orders because I'm going to be needing these on a regular basis. So I don't think we've got coffins or slabs. These are fairly critical. So we're just going to go across. We're going to go to slab, make a rock slab, and we're going to add another one, which is coffins. Now there's all sorts of different coffins. You've got glass coffins, rock coffins, but you've also got other burial receptacles as well. It can be made out of lead or all sorts of different things. They're not called coffins though if you make them out of lead. If you wanted to make something out of lead, just in this case, you know, if we had lead, we do have, where is it? Barrow amulets. Crutches, doors. Can't see the sarcophagus. That's the burial. Same thing. It's exactly the same as a coffin, but just made out of metal. So quite often with lead, you can make those out of lead or something like that. So this one here, I'm just going to go back across, change the one-time order. I'm just going to go and make it so that we end up if the amount of rock slabs is less than, let's make it say less than 2. Actually, I'll make it, and I'll just do it so is at most 2. So if we've got 2 slabs, then you know, if there's more than 2 slabs, don't worry about building any more. Otherwise, go and make them. And so at the moment we're making 10. We're just going to go and change that number. So we're just going to go and just right click, make rock slabs. The number we want here is just 1 at a time. All right, at this stage, we can start to ramp these up at some point. The rock coffins, same sort of deal in through here. We only want 1 of these at a time. And we want to have these set up. These are furniture, essentially. And we're just going to go into, if the rock coffins are at most, say 2, that means that they're basically just sitting around and aren't being used, then make more. So that will be okay there as well. So we'll just go and grab those. So they'll be made, and then once the slab is made, this automatic engraved memorial, so we've got this automatic thing, will then be done, and then we have to go and place it. So we still have to do that one manually. Let's go and see what actually happens here. We should now have orders coming in eventually. And I may need to ultimately get another stone worker. Yep, making a slab, making a coffin, so they've been allocated. And then engraving the slab will come up fairly soon. There we go, need to engrave the memorial, which will be done on that slab. So they're making the coffin. Still need to engrave this. Someone's coming in to do this one now. Okay, has that been done? No, not yet. There we are. Engraving the memorial. All right. Actually, it's still there. Not sure what happened there. Just see if there's any other problem. Now, it needs an unengraved slab. Now, so what can happen is that the slab that was made there before can have been taken back to a work location. That may have been what actually happened there at that point in time. So they're now going back in to do this again. So let's just see what actually happens. And we now have satisfied that one, I'm assuming. Needs empty cage trap. We'll just get rid of that and just see if we've actually now got it in our work orders. Yeah, it's now gone. So it looks like that's actually now been satisfied, but I'm not seeing the engraved slab here. Yeah, there it is, Siltstone Memorial to Domas. We can actually then have a look and see This is a siltstone memorial to Domas Cathalerthad. The slab reads, in memory of Domas Cathalerthad, born in 249, struck down by the dwarfs on Mason morning with an iron spear in the year 300, slayer of the horse, lover of the paper of desserts. So that's actually what's actually been placed on that particular slab. It's only worth 10 ducats or coin, dwarven coins. And so we'll now just go down to where we were starting to build this location. Now I'm going to place these slabs around, sort of interspersed around the outside edge. But what I want to do first of all is just start to smooth all of this out. So let's just go and smooth out that little area there. So the dwarves will then start to come through and just start to smooth it. And once the floor has been smoothed, I'll then place the slab. And then we'll do the whole lot. It does take a little bit of time. All right, so underneath there is now smooth, and that's all I need. I'm just going to place that slab in here. So this will be in their meeting areas. So I'm going to, now that that bit there has been done, which is where I wanted it actually to be placed, I can now go and place the slab. And so I just go into my build menu. You can see down through here we're going to then have furniture, and then we're going to have slabs down the bottom through here. So we can still memorialize them, and in this case we want to hide the planner. We want to go through and click on that particular location there. We've got siltstone slabs. We just go down and we've got the memorial to Domas. So we go and throw that one in there, and then that is now going to be placed underneath him through here. So there's going to be a siltstone slab. Just come and watch what actually happens. So this has now been planned. One of the dwarves will bring that in fairly soon. In fact, if we go back and have another look, that's constructing a building. It's hauling the siltstone memorial back in, places it, and at that point we then end up getting an alert. So Domas, the ghostly mace lord, has been put to rest. So he's no longer going to be haunting the fortress. They're not dangerous, but they do freak out some of the dwarves. So that's now been done. So we now have memorialized him properly, and so we get that message in through there as well. And so I want to smooth out all of this so I can start to make good use of these areas, and we can sort of rebuild other things in through here as well. But let's use this for memorials with the dwarves. The dwarves like to see the memorials, so we'll just go and I'll start to just place a little bit of smoothing in through this side, and then we'll come back to other things as well. Now this is going to be ultimately a lever room, and I'll go through how we set that up. Let's go back up the top, F2. Okay, we've now got this one. This is where I wanted to put my first drawbridge. Let's talk about bridges and security. And so what I want to do here is I want to have this raise up against this area through here. And so I'm going to build that one now. This is my most secure way of locking the fortress against anything. Nothing can break through a drawbridge once it's been raised. So let's go through the process of building this. The first thing we need to do is actually build the bridge itself. And so we go to constructions, so the build menu, constructions, and then we go to bridges down through here. Now it's so much easier than it used to be because you can see what's going on. The bridge, we've got different styles of bridges. Now just make sure you don't have the planner. Actually make sure that you do actually have select material after placement. You don't have to keep on building after placement, but quite often you'll be building a lot of these to secure the fortress in different zones. I'm going to be wanting to build one there. And technically, I'll probably be wanting to build one even further down, maybe even in here somewhere, just so I've actually got like a bit of a double lock before we get into the fortress itself. So that would, just in case something happens. Oh, here we go. We've now placed these in here properly, which is good. So we've got the dead bodies have been placed in here, and they're syncing it up. I meant to show this. We've still got two more in there as well, actually. These were brought in from outside, but there's miasma now floating around. These will eventually go rotten as well, and unfortunately that's just going to be a little bit of time before that one gets ready to be placed. What I might do here, we do have the coffins now ready to go as well. I think I'll actually go and start to place a couple of the coffins in, because these we can actually place these into our coffins if we have to. Anyway, drawbridge. Let's just get this one done. This is where we raise it from. We either, so set the draw direction below, then select the corners of the bridge. And so in this case, we go and we're going to raise it to the north. So it's going to raise, so if I go and place that, see where the mechanism is? It's actually placed to the north. If I go to the east, the mechanism will be then shown to the east, to the south. It'll then show to the south, so on and so forth. But in this case, we want to lock it to the north. So we want it to raise up against that, where that door currently is. That door will disappear once we sort of get all this stuff established. Just paint the box in. And then we actually have siltstone blocks are right through here as well. I'll make them out of the blocks. So we need 3 of those for this particular one. Just go and grab that. That will then be built. That's the first step that we need to do to have a drawbridge. Now, to build this one, it's just using siltstone blocks. What we're also going to do at the same time is go down into our fortress all the way down to that location that we had built in here. And let's now build a lever to actually close that drawbridge. I'm thinking of placing it just right underneath here. So let's just go across. We go into the build menu. Now we go to machines and fluids. This is such a cool little area actually with all sorts of different machines you can go and build. We want lever, and we're just going to go and place one there. And we've got different mechanisms. We don't have a hell of a lot. We're just going to grab one of those into there. We're using these for the cage traps as well. And so that will then be built in that location. It's been fairly benign at the moment, which is actually good. I'll let them continue doing this one, and then we'll start to build some of the... I'll just go and smooth these walls out as well, so we can place more coffins. I'll place the coffins in here as well. We can have... Actually, with the tombs are different again. I think I'll actually create like a burial chamber somewhere. Maybe even off to the top here. Actually, I won't do it that way. And what I'll do is I'll build it. You can build these in a quite unusual way. Let's go and build like this. And then we'll build the tombs off in this direction. Whoa. Okay, we've just opened up a whole other can of worms, potentially. It's a bit of a gap, a bit of a drop, so they won't go down looking. They won't actually climb down. I don't think they will, unless they've got climbing skills. We need to block this off. So that was a whole other area that we hadn't seen before. So we'll just quickly go into here, go into constructions. You do have to be careful that when you do unlock these, just need to go and grab that one. Just use a piece of shale, which is right there. Let's just go and kill this off as well, and so we'll just and we'll start to now create the various little tombs for the dwarves in through here, like just little burial catacombs. Let's just go and get rid of that bottom one through there. And so with these, I'm just going to go and create smallish zones. Oops, hang on, that one there. Smallish zone. That's all we need to do. I'll just make them say two deep. We don't need doors on them. We'll just go and place them into the rock areas. So we'll start to sort of just create like a burial area back and through here as well. Could even sort of create more of a catacomb. So it's 5 wide is what we actually require. Just going to make that into a continuation and then back down through. We could do the same over here as well. Yep, that's going to be fine. So these will ultimately just be little tombs, and you can have it of any shape you like. Just don't feel that you have got to be constrained like this. All right, there's the first one. So we can now just go and start to place our coffins. So what we do through here is we just go into I think it's furniture again, in through this other side. Yep, burial, back in through this other side as well. In this case, I will just auto place. I'll unpause just so we can still keep on, as he builds, we'll just keep on adding in the coffins. I'll then start to just make use of these. Oh, actually, when we designate them as tombs. So get the coffins placed. They may even just use them without even being allocated. All right, let's just start on this side here. So we've got a fair few of these actually done. Now, if I had put doors in, and what I can do is I can just pretend that there's going to be doors there and actually then just not use the doors, and it'll still sort of work. So I can actually just go into my placement and just go to doors and hatches, doors. I've got the planner, so I can just go and throw these doors in like this as an example. And then I can just auto build, and I can just come back and remove these, like, I don't want them being built. But if I do that, it's then closing off these little rooms, and I can just go now into my zones, and I can now go into tombs and through here. So deceased citizens and pets can be laid to rest in a tomb. It should include a coffin, casket, or sarcophagus, which we now actually have at least got it planned for this to actually happen. So if we go into tomb and through here, you can see it's got multi. If I go in, I can either just paint a tomb in if I'm wanting to just do it manually, but I can go to multi and select a rectangle which contains coffins in order to form tombs. I think we still need to have the door. I may be wrong about that. If I just go and create any old shape, it will then automatically enclose the areas for the tombs. And so it will then create these little mini tombs, and just go, so 11 tombs were then created. We'll just go and click on done. And so these will become the start of our burial chambers. And again, we'll do the same on the other side here when we're ready. And so with these actually in through here, I can then go to each of these tombs. If I just go back into my zones again and go and click, and so you can see that this one has been allocated. So select an option, and so select this option, and only unassigned deceased citizens will be buried in here. We can also make it available for pets, but we don't really want to be doing that at this stage. So that's by default. They'll just use it automatically to just go and bury the citizens. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back up to the top of the fortress, and actually, sorry, one thing I will do is just come back into the doors and cancel the construction of the doors, because I no longer need those. I don't know if I need these. I should test it on the other side. Just cancel the constructions in through here. So if I just, so I'm just going to keep these almost like a catacombs. Again, you can set up whatever you like in these sorts of things. These are just going to be very, very basic tombs. I'll try it in here. I'll just go and see what happens when I allocate like a few extra burial chambers. So again, it's just the furniture stockpile. If I just go and do that, I'll just see if this will work. If I then go across into zones, tomb, I've got multi selected already. If I then just go this way, yeah, it won't do it. Coffin rejected, not enclosed. So we need to put those doors in there just to at least get started. But that's now allocated as a tomb. If we just go back up the top of the fortress, I'm going to stop these from being dumped, and that way they will actually go and bury these. Corpse, and just stop the dumping there. These are, we've got different things that have been stopped in through there as well. We'll just go into our settings and just make sure that everything is actually okay to be placed in through there. So they should come and do something with these bodies, I'm hoping. Erdem's mangled corpse, and then we've got the Dishmab's mangled corpse back up through there as well. So they should be buried. These were outsiders, so these maybe not. So we'll have to sort of do different things with them. They've stopped rotting now, so they've stopped causing miasma, although it will often come in waves. Let's now just go and watch and see what actually happens. We've still got the slabs have been completed. We've found a lot of stuff through here. Now, usually when you see the diamonds, like black diamond, blue diamond, that's going to mean, if I go and click on that, if I go to the black diamond, this will ultimately be a goodie hut. We spoke about them before. So, yeah, there's maybe not. That's just white jade. Yeah, that's a goodie hut there. So we've got a goodie hut right there that we've now discovered. We'll talk about those soonish, I think, or maybe in the next episode if we get time to do something with them. There's a few of them around. There's another one there, for example, which has got the different stuff in it. But we also have one right underneath where we've actually established ourselves. There's another one right in here, which we haven't done anything with. But we will. We'll have a look at that. Probably that one there, actually, in the next episode, if we get time. Well, actually, this episode's been quite good. We've been able to sort of rattle through things and get things done. So there's another goodie hut there, as an example. So they're going to be all over the place. The obsidian. Actually, that's going to have metal. So it's going to have magma in it. But we already have magma right up to here, which we will make use of. That goes all the way up to there, which is fantastic. we'll make use of this ourselves in a creative way at some point. I've got plans as to what we do with that one. Yeah. Anyway, we'll continue on. So these eventually will, the turkeys are all in here. Let's just have another quick look and just make sure that they are all allocated. Just go into the allocation. So it's the gobbler, and 3 hens. So they're actually all in there. Now, with the one thing we were also going to be now doing, these are now all been established with the cages in them. So it's now safe for us to start butchering to a degree. Now, things will come back to life when we start the butchering process. The 2 horses are 2 male horses. Unless we get a female horse, I'll probably keep one around for now. But let's go through the whole process of butchering. It's so much easier again with DF Hack. If we go down to our bottom layer here, so we've got 2 horses. We've got this stray horse, which is frail. This one is sickly. Let's use the sickly one. That's 6 years old. This one is 4 years old. We'll use the old one. Now the Cavy sow is useless as well. We could butcher that. I don't know if we get much with this one through here. Yep, so it felt free from being released from confinement, so it's now been brought out. So we can do different things in DF Hack. We can butcher automatically, geld, adopt, or train. So if we've got dogs, we can train them up and become different sorts of things, or different beasts can certainly be trained in different ways if we wanted to sort of dedicate the time. So let's have a look. They're leaving that fallow. Really need to get some plump helmets into one of these. I'll just do one in plump helmets. In fact, I'll just go back to all of these and just double check. So spring is quarry bushes, summer is quarry bushes, autumn is leaf fallow. I'm going to put that as quarry bushes as well. Then we go to the next one. Spring is plump helmets, summer plump helmets, autumn plump helmets, winter plump helmets. Let's just do it that way. The farm plot in spring through here, we'll make this one sweet pods. Sweet pods. I'll make it cave wheat. And then I'll just leave it fallow there. Is that the same one that we just did? Yeah, no, that's the one we did before. This one here is plump helmets again, summer, pigtails. We need to get pigtails done because we do need to have that's for clothing. That'll do. All right, so that'll be farming established essentially. That's good. I'm glad that I got rid of the actual the stuff underneath it. Now this is dead cave wheat. Before it becomes dead, we can actually just go and try to. In fact, I think it's now too late for all of this stuff. Yeah, they've actually let it die. So nobody's come down to actually pick up the stuff that was down there. Anyway, that's going to be fine. We'll just leave that way that is. Dead pigtails down there as well. So eventually we can go outside and pick up resources through here if we do run out, but I don't think we will. I noticed that there, at the top of the fortress there was some... actually, that's dead cave wheat there, so that's died in there as well. Let's just watch what happens now as we start to build this. So eventually somebody will take this. Still the 3 hostiles way over through there. Yeah, the miasma is still actually kicking in. These actually look like they are being buried. Yeah, they're being taken down to the bottom of the fortress to be buried. That's been taken down, this has been taken down. Okay, this has now been built. So we now have a siltstone bridge. We didn't watch it getting built, but essentially a mechanic has to build this. It has to be somebody with mechanic skills. So they've got it's a complicated thing to do. That's why you do want to be bringing mechanics with you. And as we go back down into the fortress, down in here, where are we? We just go all the way down to the bottom where we sort of started to build that lever. So the lever has now been built as well. Now I'll go through, now that we've got that one area established, we're going to go and click on this one. We're going to link the lever and then we come all the way up. Now this is, click a building to link to the sandstone lever. And so we go all the way back up the top there again. I can press F2 if I wanted to, but let's just go back up to here. Then we click on that one. And so it's going to link the building to the trigger. You can actually say, yep, go and do it now. So we're going to link that lever in through there. That will then mean that somebody will come with mechanisms. If we just go back down, F5 is too much down. Let's go back up again to this area. Someone will come through here with a mechanism. Just watch them as they come. It should be the mechanic. In the meantime, actually, let's have a look and see. So these coffins are getting full. So Dishmab, the dwarf farmer. This one here has been placed to rest. So that one won't come back as a ghost. This is Avuz, the dwarfen merchant. So we are actually burying the various people as they come back through. Underneath here we've got a tomb which is for Erdem, the spear dwarf that we actually had. So they're being placed into these coffins. What I might do actually is also just go and place a door. I can have it so that we end up locking this off, just in case someone comes back to life in here. We can then sort of just keep it all finished, because they're going to be doing that fairly often. So let's just go and place that there and that there as well. So yep, that's all fine. All right. So now we've dug out most of this, and what we want to do in here now is just start to get the meat. Actually, I'll do the meeting hall afterwards. So Make Rock Coffin's been completed. The yarn robe has been completed. We'll just keep on watching until this one does come in. Now, nobody has done it yet. We've still got the linker building. That will come in fairly soon. There we go. And so this one is linking the building to the trigger. If we go and just watch this one and just follow him around now, he's now linked one of them. He's going to go back up, grab another mechanism, and then link this one. There's a mechanism out here, is there? Oh no, he's going back to store. So he must have done the bridge already. If you just go back up to F1 and F2 and have a bit of a look. If we see the mechanism is already there, and it's also now, if we go back down into not the bottom, just into this location here, this is now ready to pull the lever, and so this one is now the front entrance. Now it still doesn't make a real lot of sense. Like, you're going to end up with levers all over the place, so rename them. So siltstone lever becomes front entrance. All right. That's now been named. We go back up the top and we name the other one also the bridge front entrance. Name your bridges and name the levers that trigger the bridges, just so you don't have to try to do it through experimentation when you've got lots and lots of them. It really does save a lot of time. All right, now I'm going to have to get going here, but I'm going to keep on recording in this episode. So I'll just drop it off here. What else are we going to be doing? I'm just going to think about when I come back, because it'll probably be a day before I get back, and I've got an extremely bad memory. We're going to sort this out. I might just leave that there so I know to do bedrooms and the meeting room. Okay, well, I'll be back immediately, but a day later for me. Okay, it's a day later and my goldfish brain has forgotten what we were going to be doing, but I've left it on this screen, so I know that I'm supposed to be looking at the meeting hall and also the bedrooms. So that's one thing we'll be looking at. We also had left our soap makers unoccupied, so we're going to go and do that one to start with, actually. So to put most industries in, there's two ways. You can fumble your way through, which is what we'll do now, but you can actually look at the Dwarf Fortress wiki and just see the steps that you actually require. There's a few that we do need in here. So we're just going to go across. We're just going to go across into workshops, and we're going to go and grab ourselves a soap maker's workshop. We're going to place it in through here. This one requires buckets, so we'll go to walnut wood buckets and siltstone. That's all we have to make. Let's just now go and unpause, let this be built. There we go. So coming in now, if we have a look, we've got the siltstone there. We need to now bring the bucket in, and if we just pause again, you'll see that it's now got the walnut wood bucket. There we are. We'll now build this one. There we go. So this has now been constructed. So we've now got the soap maker's workshop. And if we have a look at the, if we go to add a new task, we actually can't do anything because we don't have any of the actual ingredients or some of the raw ingredients. So make soap from oil, and we don't actually have any plants that we can actually use to press the oil out of them. We need a press for that to be able to get the oil out of, whether it be olives or whatever it might actually be. But we can make it out of tallow, which is from butchering animals, and so requires unrotten tallow fatty glob. So we need to actually get tallow, and we can ultimately sort of, if we find creatures that can be butchered outside, like zombie creatures, we can actually process what we get from the zombie creatures, not from humanoid type creatures, but we can actually do that in here. Now we don't have anything because we haven't used the butcher's shop yet, but this is now ready to go with all of the various areas back and through this other side. So what we're just going to do is we're just going to go and now go to butchering. So we're going to go to F5, which is down in the bottom of the fortress. We've got a couple of horses here. Let's just go and butcher this particular horse. By the way, for some reason, whenever I click on this sheep, it ends up crashing the game. So I'm just going to avoid that particular one. I don't even know much about that one, except I know it's a pet. So let's just go and wait until we see someone come and grab the horse. Here we go. So we now actually have Dodoc, the animal caretaker. He's going to slaughter the stray horse. Let's just go across, and we'll just follow Dodoc up with the horse. Up we go, across into here, and that's been butchered straight away. You can see their stray horse has now been butchered. Now there's most likely going to be things that will come back to life here. So if we have a look and see now what's actually been left over from the butchering, this has now got we've got stray horse hoof in through here. We've got horse fat. We've got prepared horse eye, cartilage, lung, heart, intestines, liver, tripe, sweetbread, etc., all the way through here. Nervous tissue. A lot of this stuff we have to throw away, but some of it we can keep. And we do have the stray horse skin. Now, I'm sort of hopeful that somebody comes and... You can see that a lot of these have been put down as jobs that people need to go and do. We've got horse meat, and we've got bones. We've got 14 bones. But it's the actual... it's the horse fat that we need to render. And so if we go across, I think it's in the farmers, and if we just add a new task, if we go to process... Is it this one? Maybe it's not this one, actually. Maybe it's not that one. I forget where we actually process into tallow. Yeah, this is done in the kitchen, actually. So we just go to the kitchen, add new task, and we do actually have render fat. So it requires unrotten fat renderable globules. So it's unrotten fat. So we can actually go and do that one fairly soon. If we just go and wait. At the moment, it's been given a task. So we have to wait for it to be sent to a food stockpile to be able to then be rendered. So if we have a quick look at stocks and just have a quick look at fat as well, we'll sort of find that there will be, there's the horse fat now that's just actually in there. But it's actually got it's been given a task. So if you have a look at the task information menu, one of these will be the actual, will be the fat that has to then be taken. So you've got a whole lot of different things, milking the cow, etc., etc. So there's a whole range of stuff that will then end up happening. Let's just unpause. There we go. So now, what have they got? They're now hauling like the skull and so on and so forth. Somebody will come and actually should render. So make a hide. Again, we need to store the hide to start with. So everyone's now moving things around. This is the hooves coming out. Cartilage. So a lot of these things are being sort of taken away from here. If we have a bit of a look, we've still got the fat in there. Nobody's actually come and grabbed that one. The yak is being brought into here for milking. That's why the female animals are so useful. That's now been okay. And now we're going back in again. What are you going to do? Render fat. Okay, so Mayfol is now going in. What we'll find is there'll be an automatic thing in here to render fat. And so they're going to now go and grab the actual, the globules and come through and actually create the fat. So down into here. I don't know if, we're not seeing the tanning shop just yet in action. I don't think there's anything, no, there's nothing in there. We've still got the skin is still there. It is down as a task, so hopefully someone will come and do that before it comes to life. Once it comes to life, we can't use it, and it is fairly important that we go and do that one. In fact, if I have a quick look at the tasks, we have store items, go to location, in barrel, in bin, construct building, render fat. Yeah, there's nothing much there. So we've I'm not exactly sure where that will actually end up being at this point in time. What are you off to do? This has got the skin. Okay, it's now hauling the skin to put it into a stockpile. I might just, while the fat is being rendered in here, if we have a quick look at this area, you'll see it's got the horse fat. There's actually biscuits and things that have been left over through here. But in essence, let's just follow this one because this one may come back to life. Goes all the way up. Let's put the skin in there. It should have been to be able to be tanned. I think it still can actually. So let's just now go back down again to the area. Actually, we're just following that one through there. Let's go across, and what we should do is actually set up a better chain for when we do actually butcher things, so that they don't bring it back into this garbage dump. And in fact, we then have it so that we can then put the skin somewhere else. So let's just go down, and by that I mean put it close to our areas down through here. So I'll come and do that one maybe a bit later on. Milk the animal has now been completed. So if we have a bit of a look at this, we should now be able to, tanner hide has now been done as a job. I'm going to give that a priority because I want somebody to come and do that one urgently because it's now available. I'm going to go and grab more stuff. If we have another look, we've now got the 9-horse tallow. So we now actually have what we need for our soap making. So now if I go back across to here and go to add new task, and now it's like make soap from tallow, it's going to possibly that's actually been, that's also got now a task. We have to wait for that one to come through. So again, this tallow is going to go off to another location. Let's just watch until we see. Has he got the tallow? Yes. He's now hauling the tallow to another location. Let's just go and quickly watch this. He's going to go all the way back up the top as well and pop it here. So the tallow has just been placed there. And he's, so we can see there that the skin, the stray horse hair has actually potentially come back to life. No, that's the hair. So the skin, I think, has now been taken. If we just go back down to the bottom again, and I'll just, again, just disrupt that one, F4. And here we go. So we've now got Dodoc has been able to get, before it came back to life, has got the skin and is actually trying to tan the hide. So hopefully it'll happen before it comes to life. So getting all the other bits and pieces. There we go. So we now have 2 lots of horse leather, and that's fine. That allows us now to use the leather area through here to then start to build things if we need to. So I want to just keep that one where that is. Soap makers, we can try to add a new task now. And so it still has, so the soap from tallow still needs to be done. Let's have a quick look and see if we've got that one. Oh my God, it's just taking forever. If we have a look at the tallow, the horse tallow, let's just go across to it. So it's now being placed in here. This is a rendered fat barrel. And so this is the sort of stuff we need actually near our soap manufactory. So the rendered fat barrel is exactly what we require, but it's now in there. Now the horse tallow should be now available to us because it's only just been thrown off there. So if we just go back across down into here, add new task, still can't do it. Just let me go forward a little bit in the game. Add new task. It says there must be other things that it still requires because it should now have access to it. So let's go to the Dwarf Fortress wiki and just see what else we require. Yeah, we still actually have some other things that we do need, which is sort of what I had alluded to previously. I thought it would actually tell us exactly what we do need, but in this case, it won't do it. So what we need to do is we need to get lye in here along with the tallow to mix those two things together. And lye is made from an ashery. So you used to make lye, potash, and milk of lime. So we're just going to go and it requires blocks and a barrel and a bucket, which we actually have access to as well. So we're just going to go to siltstone blocks will be okay. An apricot wood barrel will be fine, and a bucket. So we'll just go and grab those. The other thing we need to make lye from the ashery is we need to burn wood and get essentially charcoal. So I'm just going to go and add one of those in right now as well. So we're just going to go to workshops. And the charcoal, the wood burner is actually from the furnaces. So if we go into here, wood furnace, so it makes charcoal and ash. Actually, we need ash from wood here. It does not require fuel. So it doesn't require fuel to run it, but it has to process wood. And so we'll add one of those in through here as well. And so that will then be the process. So we need to make ash, the ash to make lye, the lye along with the tallow to make soap. So we'll just allow that to happen. Just make sure the tallow doesn't ever get used back in through here. That seems to be okay. Wait for these to become constructed. It's now late winter. All right, so we'll now wait from, if we go to here and go to add new task, you can see it's going to take, say, make a potash make lye. If we go and do that, it won't actually do it because we need to have ash. So I'll just go and do it, and we should get a message over the side here just saying, hey, you can't do that. There we are. So animal caretaker needs ash, so we need ash for that particular one. Let's just go and just leave that one alone. So the wood furnace is now done. Let's go and add a new task. So we'll make ash from here. We'll make a few of these. So I'll just do it manually for now, but then we'll probably sort of set up something automated. Let's just make 4 lots of ash from the wood that we actually have. When we get ash, we'll then make lye, and then we'll make soap. Here we are, burning. So you can see we've got willow logs. Okay, now if we have a look, we've got ash in there. So from the ash, we can now go across to the ashery and make lye. So we'll go and do that. There we are. So we've got the ash now in there, but we need to now get a bucket. So it should be coming in with a bucket. Actually, we'll just watch. Yep, there's the bucket there, the walnut wood bucket. And we'll now start to make lye. Still burning more ash. The charcoal can be used with the bituminous coal to ultimately make, if we get a smelter, we can then start to actually use that to in the furnaces, but we actually don't need the coal because we're going to be able to use the magma. So when we have a look, we've now got a bucket, so a wooden bucket down through here. If we have a look at it, it's full of lye. So we now have lye inside the bucket. So so with that one, we can now go back across, add a new task, and now we have make soap from tallow. So we now can actually go and do this one. So we'll just go across, add that one. So we with that one added, we'll just watch what actually happens in through here. Oh, we've got 4 hostiles now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that's Erdem's mangled corpse. Now this is just horsehair that's come back to life from here. So it's just the hair, which is very, very easy to kill. We actually have Moldath, the militia commander, right here. So this will just freak people out. So quite often what you try to do through here is to actually have the get rid of these sorts of things fairly early because they do come back to life if you're playing in a reanimating biome. In this case, we actually have our militia commander right next to it. He's just going to be able to smash it with his mace, and so we'll just go across, select that one, click, done, confirm, and so it will now go and kill the horsehair. Bang, done. So that's actually now been done. There's mangled lower body hair there from the horse as well. We've got mangled horse hair. So this is not going to come back to life anymore. So that's all we had to do just with that one through there. Yep, that's all done. Yep, so interrupted by horsehair. This is sort of like where we do need to have a way of getting rid of this stuff. And I'll go through that in more depth when I've got time to basically do it. So let's just leave that one where that is. Seeds, we're down to 10 seeds, which is a bit of a problem. We do actually have some plump helmets there. So let's just go and, when we see things like plump helmets, let's just go and grab them because that will give us seeds. So wherever we see these sorts of things, I don't think that's anything we can grab. No, it's not. All right, let's continue on down. So back down to... So that's the soap making. If we have a quick look in through here and have a look, we've now got the... actually, you've still got make soap from tallow. We'll just watch this one as it comes in. I don't know what that one's fighting. It might just be a statement. Looks like it came back to life again. Yeah, I don't think so, but anyway, we'll just go back down again. Still making more ash. Now they're bringing the stuff across. We now have 2 buckets in here. Going to go and get the tallow, I think. And we'll set up an automatic one so you can still see how to make soap in an automated sort of way. There we are. And so now we should have horse tallow. We've got the walnut wood bucket. We've got and I've got one in through here as well. This one's full of something. This one's empty because it's part of the actual soap making area. If you can have a look at these things in through here, we've got the lye in that particular soap there, in that particular bucket. And at the end of this, we'll then have a bar of soap. So that is horse soap. We've got 8 more horse tallow in through there. Let's go and set this one up so it's now automated. So if we just go back across and go to the work orders, and we'll just start to add a few of these. So we're going to I'll just do a search for soap. Make soap from tallow. So we're just going to go and add that one. Let's just do it bit by bit again, working in reverse. So we've actually sort of got everything where it needs to be. We're just going to make one at a time, I think. So we'll just make one soap at a time. We'll just go to the orders. So it needs to be the lye containing items is, so we'll grab that one, and we need unrotten tallow fatty globules for that to be the 2 things that need to be required before we can really go and do it. So we're just going to change the number of this to 1 and 1. So it's so that we've got more than one. I'm just going to change the way that this is actually structured as well. Is at most 1. So when we've got at least 1 lye containing it, because we don't need it for anything else other than this, then we'll go and do it. And if the unrotten tallow fatty globules, I'll actually just change that to at most 1 as well. That way, actually, sorry, at most, well, no, sorry, at least greater than, no, it's actually where it was before, at least 1. So if we've got at least 1 of those, and at most, hang on, at most 1, at least 1. It's not actually showing it there. Let's go at most 1. It seems to sort of work, so that will do us. I can do soap bars as well if we have too many soap bars, but we're not going to have too many, I don't think. So we'll just go that way. So we'll just keep this sort of rolling through and building up as we go. So that's the first work order. We'll go and add another one. So we need lye. Make a lye. And just go back down again. So we're just working in reverse. So make lye. We just want to make 1 of these. It's a one-time order. If the amount of lye, we need basically well, ash and empty buckets really. So what I'll do is I'll add all of these so we end up with a limit to what we actually end up doing. So if the amount of is less than say 2, or at most 2, I'll just go that way. Is at most 2, so that's satisfied. Amount of ash is also going to be like at most 1. I'll make it, and the same with the empty buckets at most 1. Might make that 3 actually, just so I've got a few spares. So at most, hang on, at least 3, and the amount of ash is also at least 1. So that's actually fine. Actually, at most 2. That's going to be, if I did it at least, no, at most, at least 2. Yes, it's not satisfied yet, so at least I'll make it 1. So at least, if we've got at least 1 lye, at least 1 ash, and at least 3 buckets, then go for it. At the moment, we don't have any lye. So actually, that is, no, sorry, the lye has to be the other way around. At most 1, I'll make it say, yeah, I'll make it 1. So if it gets to, if it doesn't have 1, there's 0 at the moment, then make 1 of them, and then that will then trigger the rest of the soap industry. So that's actually fine where that is. So we'll always have just one bucket of lye around the place ready to make soap. So that one's now done. And then the last thing we need is to make ash. So we'll just go back across. So this is a fairly complex industry. So make ash in through here, just go back down to it. Just make one of these at a time, even though we've got a few of them at this point in time. Just come back in. So if the amount of ash is that and the amount of logs, so what I'll do is if the amount of logs is greater than 10, I'm actually happy with that, or that's going to be fine, or I can do at most 10, no, at least, no, is greater than, is greater than 10, that's okay. And if the amount of ash is at most, and I'll just make this one say, well, until we sort of run out of ash, we probably don't really need ash, so I'll just make it 1. And so is if the amount of ash is at most 1. So when there's only one, when we have 1 left, when we get to 0, it will start to make it ash again. So this will just tick over a little bit at a time. We don't need a lot of it. So that will be okay. We'll just leave that one because we've actually now got ash, so we don't actually need that one. So that's now got the soap industry now done. I hope that all makes sense. So we now have soap. What they'll do is they'll take this into the, if I just go into the zone again, have a look at the hospital and have a look at the information. It will tell us we've got 1 soap. It desires 5, we've got 1. It needs 2 buckets. This is all the stuff that's in here. So we've got everything we need pretty much now. So we've now got the basics of the hospital that we actually have. Of course, that's only temporary. Let's go down now and build the, well, we've got the bedroom layer, which I was going to build into those different layers there. And then we've still got this area through here. Now, this is going to have to be the meeting hall. So we'll go and start to smooth this out completely. I wanted to just get started with this. So we end up with smoothing down one side. Let's just go and start to build the actual eating zone in through this other side. So we'll just go across, whoops, not that one. Go to furniture. This will be tables. And I will just go into the planner, so in case we run out of them. 2, 3, 4, 5, that'll do us. And we'll do the same with chairs. So furniture, chairs, 1, 2, 3, 4. You need to have 1 chair per table. So what we'll do is we'll end up with another group of chairs on this other side once we smooth all of this out. And so this ultimately will be our meeting hall, and it will replace the meeting hall that we had. So I'm just going to go across and go to zones. This will be the meeting area, and we'll just make it into a large meeting area in through here. So this will be our main hall. So accept, and essentially if we just leave it as a meeting area, it will be where they go to eat. It will also be the dining hall as well, but I'll just keep it as a meeting area. And if we just go back across, we've still got the dining hall that we had set up in here. If we have a quick look at at what we actually have, unnamed dining hall. I wonder if I could keep this for now. Yeah, I think we can. Let's remove that one completely. And what we'll do is we'll just go across now and disassemble these buildings. Now I can also go to my my construction menu and go to this one here, designate deconstruction in through here as well, I think. So I think that will work. No, it didn't do it. I thought it did. I thought it did it for furniture, but I was wrong. I think there's a way to do it, the furniture, but I just can't remember what it actually is. Yep, they're all done. I'll designate inside that meeting area as well. So if we just go back down to that zone, and I'll just make this into a meeting, into a dining hall as well inside the meeting area. So we'll just go back across zones. You can actually you can have multiple things going across like this. So we'll just go into dining hall, and we'll just go and place it in here. Except it's an overlapping dining hall. That's actually still okay. And so that's going to essentially be the dining hall as well as the meeting area in the same location. It diminishes the returns on what they actually are, but look, I might as well just keep them together at this point in time. Okay, bedroom layers. So I'm going to go down to this middle layer and start in here. And what I'm just going to do here is we've got that one's okay, that one's okay. We're going to, I like to create an area where I can lock things off. So we need to create little rooms. And I'll show you, I use macros for this. And macros are really, really handy when you've got like a pattern that you want to be building all the time. So let's just say that we're going to have, say, 6 bedrooms in a row. And we're going to always sort of start off with the start of some sort of corridor. And then we're just going to be building the different corridors. And I always forget exactly what to do through here, but I do actually have one already stored. But essentially what it is to do the macros. Yes, actually I've got it in my head now what to do. So what we need to do first of all, the easiest way to do this is to plot out what you're going to be building as your basic pattern. So the way to do that, the easiest way to do that is to go into, in this case we're going to be digging a regular hallway, but we can have other sorts of things as well. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to hide that for a second. We're going to open this right up to the advanced options, and we're just going to paint the blueprint only at this point in time, because what we want to do is we want to just sort of gauge what we're going to have to build over the top of. And so then I'm going to be building a doorway there, and I'll just make a little 2x2 room on each side. So I'll just go across and build each of these. Now that's 5. I'll make it 6, I think. I could keep it 5. Actually, 5 would actually be okay. So I'll just go back across again. And so this is just so I know what to trace. This helps me to figure out what I need to do in terms of my patterning. And so we need to record a macro. And so with this now selected, I'm just going to get rid of the blueprint. And so we can now just go through and actually tell it what to do to record the actual macro itself. Now, the cursor, which we've spoken about before, this is in settings under game. You need to have keyboard cursor enabled. I keep it on all the time, but you don't have to, as long as you have it so that you can actually go and do it. When you choose any of the building type things, it will then come up with the cursor. Now we happen to have the cursor in the right position. I can just use the arrow keys to get it exactly where I want it to be. So I can start here because I want to start where I want to start the actual corridor. And so in this case, I'm just going to sort of start through here. I'm going to then go and press, well, I've got the right one selected in through this other side, so I can actually just go, and you can see the hotkey M. It uses keyboard commands. So I'm just going to go M to make sure I've got that one selected. I can go and click on other things. I've got T, I've got R, U, etc. Actually, sorry, before I even do that, Control R is record. So Control R, record, and you'll see recording in the top corner there. So that's actually where we are at the very, very top. Now, I'm just going to press M again to make sure I'm in mining. So I'm designating mining. So that's going to be the first command in the macro. I'm then going to press Enter, and I'm then going to move across and dig out this actual little area through here. I'm just going to press Enter again. That's now designated that corridor to be built. I'm then going to come back down and designate this zone here. Every single key press, remember, so it will always make that little mistake and go one further because that's what I did. I'm going to press Enter through here and then go all the way across to this area. Enter. At that point, I'm going to press Enter again. I'm going to go across into here, press Enter. I'm going to press Enter again and go all the way down. So I'm just trying to find the cleanest way of actually building this particular pattern. Enter. I'm then going to go down to this zone in through here. I'm going to press Enter, go down to the bottom, go across, Enter, and just keep on essentially just giving it what we're going to be doing. This is very useful if you're building like carts, like mine cart tracks, like in a certain loop, for example, going down different Z levels. So we now just do that. We now need to go and use the eraser. So down through here you can see it's X. So I now go and press X. I and then go back up the top across to here, press enter, go up one, press enter. Hang on, that didn't work. Sorry, that's X there. If I'll click on that one there to go in and actually then go and step this one, it should actually work. Enter. Hopefully this will work if in the macro. I can't remember if this one does. It's been a little while since I've actually done this. All right, and then down the bottom here. So I'm just using the keyboard. I'm not using the mouse. So this is macros. This is high level stuff. All right, that's now been done. I'm just going to put the cursor back to where it was, and at that point I'm still recording. I'm just going to go Control R, or I think if I go Control R it'll stop. I should then be able to go Control S. I'm just going to call this one the Bedrooms 01 or something, like just some sort of name. I'm going to do that one. And then I can go Control L, and anything I've got saved in a macro will then come back out. So Control L, and you can see I've got basic bedroom, and I've also got Bedrooms 01. So if I go to Bedrooms 01, let's just test it and see what actually does happen through here. So I've now loaded it in. Now I'm going to have room. So we've got the room starts there, then a corridor, then we go to there. If I now go Control P to play, so I've got Control R to record, Control S to save, Control L to load in the macro, and then Control P to play the macro. It will then build. It's actually doing. It's not doing what I wanted it to do. Yeah. So forget what I just said there about all that. It's working away, doing stuff, but it's not actually working very well at all in that sense. I don't know what I've done wrong. I'll just go across and play the other one that I've got stored. I just can't remember how to do it. So Control L. I know Basic Bedrooms works. So Control P. Oh, you know what it is? It's because I've got the wrong thing selected. I still don't think it's going to work all that effectively, to be honest. So let's just go across and I'll play it again, but this time I'm going to select this mining tool. So I'll just go Control P. Yeah, in this case, I can't actually do the erasing. I have to actually set it to build the whole lot. Okay, that was essentially a macro. Okay, I did it wrong. What I did wrong was I moved halfway across from. I need to just have it so that it only does the digging and no erasing. That's all it can really go and do. So that's actually just that's essentially like another way of doing it. But anyway, that's God, I've really screwed that up. I'm sorry, guys, about the explaining that one. I didn't explain it very well, but let's not worry about it too much. In this case, I've only got like the one wide, so I'll just go back up to here. I'll just go Control P. That way, it will actually build. God, I've still got the same one selected again. Do it again. I need that one selected. We go back. Escape, escape, escape. So room, there. That's what we needed, I think. So Control L to load it in. I'll just go Basic Bedrooms. Control P to play it. There we go. All right. Then I can just go back on the other side as well and start to sort of build more of these around. So let's just make it so that we've got 3 of these. So room, corridor, that one there, Control P. I've got that tool there selected. I thought it actually knew to do the other, like to change the actual type, but it actually doesn't in this case. So anyway, that's where we are with those. I can then just manually go in and create with that one through there the various other zones to link these in. And it just allows me to sort of quickly come back through and pick up other pieces. So we'll just get the bedroom layer done that way. I'll just unpause, then the miner should come down and just start to sort of work his way through this particular zone. So that's all good. Here we go, rock coffins have been completed. Wooden bins have been completed. Okay, well, I think I might call this episode to a close after screwing up that you may have to look it up in how to actually do it. I think I may have changed a bit because I thought you could actually designate the different styles of how to actually then use the digging orders, but maybe not. maybe not. Making lie is now complete. We need lie containing item. Struck lignite, make rock thrones. Anyway, so that's all fine. We'll eventually sort of make the soap that we can. And what I want to do is I do want to smooth these out as well. So we'll just get all of the, like everyone sort of now doing the smoothing, if we can. So they'll just come in and start to then build up the bedrooms. And all I'm just going to do is just designate the actual bedrooms that need to then be sort of done in this particular style. So I'll just keep on sort of smoothing things out. Everything sort of, and that way they'll start to become a bit more happy as well with everything that's actually being done. All right, well, I think I'll leave it there, guys. So thanks for watching, and we'll continue on. Nothing much really happened in terms of it being an aggressive episode, this one, at least, but we got a lot of the fortress actually built, or at least we got it sort of started. It's now late winter on the 16th, and so really we're going to be heading into the new year. In fact, why don't we just let this year play out, and we'll let it save at the start of the next season, and then we'll just go from there. There's been no invasions, which is good. Yep, we need lie containing items. Yep, we made soap again. That's good stuff. Got lavender jade. So we're just sort of moving our way through. Let's go and smooth this out even more. They like the smoothed walls. And so by doing that, it's just going to make their existence happier. In fact, by letting this go, it's now the 20th of obsidian. I'll just keep on coming through and building what they need to build. Yeah, it's going to wait for these. He's probably going off for a bit of a snooze, a bit of a sleep. So we can see how much we've got in terms of wood. Wood itself, logs. We've got a fair few. That's all. That's okay. Okay, he's back again. Smooth that out. It's easier just to smooth the whole lot out before you start building the actual bedrooms themselves. Okay, so that's the bedrooms. Yeah, we do have this now has been established as well. There's other little things we do need to do in here as well, like, for example, we should actually put the prepared food in off to the side, so let's go and dig this out as well. I'll just dig it, I'll dig it out this way actually. Oh, there we go, that's the end of the year. Alright, so I'll let that one be dug eventually, once it does come back in. And then this will be where we put our prepared food and drinks and stuff like this. Okay, saving the game. And we'll just go and place it in here. Alright, so that will be a food stockpile ultimately. So it's now early spring in the year 301. We've been here pretty much exactly a year. We're 2 weeks off it being a year. Now, spring has arrived, that's good. We need light containing item, that's okay as well. Let's just leave it in through here. We'll just let him go and dig this out as well. And so this will become a different sort of container here for different types of food. Oh, cloud of murk. Now, where is it? Because this now is dangerous. So we'll just have a quick look and see. So we've got it coming in from the south, which I got to be careful of. I don't know what that is actually. I've got something where I've indicated. got upward slopes indicated. I've somehow clicked on some, actually it might be R, yeah it was R. Clicking on R allowed me to see the slopes, which I'm not really that keen about. So I'm just going to now lock everyone inside. I mean, we could still maybe just get outside if we have to. We've got some wood still outside, but overall, really, it's now time to lock down. So if I go and lock this door here, and just designate it for locking and forbid it, if there's anyone outside, I'll get a message down here, which is so handy. So I'll just leave that one where that is. Yeah, we seem to be okay. All right, so there's no reason for any of them to be outside, which is great. I'm just going to go and change this one to also now be forbidden. All of these, just want to make sure that these are now set so that we, if anything does step on it, it's not going to matter much. We don't want them coming to try to fix these up at any point in time. Yep, so these are all now been done, which is awesome. All right, so that's the cage traps. So there's another one that I didn't quite get to. Okay, well, that murk, again, we have to avoid that like the absolute plague. It's worse than the plague. So here it is down through here. Yeah, it's everywhere. So we need to just make sure that we stay right away from that by keeping people inside. That's absolutely critical. So we'll now just lock the fortress down by doing this. I'm not going to use the burrows to do this. We'll just keep the murk out that way. That will be enough. Yep, I think that's it. Well, anyway, I think I might leave it here, guys. So, look, thanks for watching. What will we tackle next time? I think we might even go down to the bottom of the fortress and start to think about how we maybe even sort of start to get metal and start a metal industry. I do have a plan of attack with that. And my plan is to use the volcano and to put a floor over the top of the volcano. And there's ways we can do that. One of the ways we can do it is to make use of the aquifer and actually drain the aquifer into that floor, because it's literally right here. It's just right there. And so if we pour water onto this, it will then change the top layer to obsidian, and we can then use the obsidian flooring as a way of actually then being able to manipulate the actual, like we can then make actual workshop areas over the top of the actual magma itself. So I'm thinking I might sort of start to look at some sort of like a bit of a mega project, not a very big one, but just in sense of very quickly getting flooring down by pouring water onto the actual magma itself. And that's something we should be able to do fairly safely. So we'll go through those next turn, I think, next episode. Anyway, thanks for watching, and yeah, we'll just remember to watch out for my Fortress Fridays. You can watch them live on Twitch. I am going to be starting to actually upload them to YouTube as well. I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.